Oh, hey, welcome back. Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. I'm going to explain why I'm bullish today. I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin. In fact, I'm so bullish, I'm going to explain why. Every single stream out there is about bearish news. How Bitcoin is dead, it's a bear market, and this and that. Well, I'm here to tell you that is not true. It is not true. Bitcoin is right where it's supposed to be. You don't want to give up on it, and I have something marvelous to show you guys. I have something really good. I think you guys will like it. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All right, guys, let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you guys are hanging in there. You know what? Had you just woken up right now and you checked your portfolio or your chart, you'll realize that we're at the same exact place as yesterday. In fact, a little bit higher than when I was streaming last night. But I know that, just an hour ago or two, we broke 30,000, went down to 28, and everyone was panicking. Every single stream that I was looking at, crypto banters, digital asset news. I mean, everyone was just feeling so down, right? But you know what? This is not time. This is not time to be bearish. This is a time to actually buy. This is what you do. You buy when things are low. Now, last night I showed you guys dollar cost averaging, the powerful strategy that has always worked. And I found a website that actually is even better than that spreadsheet I showed you guys yesterday. So you guys could use it, you guys could test it, you could follow it, and you'll realize this is the one strategy that always works and why you should actually cheer on when there are dips and bargains to be had and not focus so much on the negatives, because there's just so much out there right now. There is so much. Yesterday I was saying it got so bad, right, that I was going to start an OnlyFans account. I was not kidding. I actually started one. Rand this morning was talking about, going to McDonald's and making, hustling there and making some money. You know what? I think it's a lot more profitable just going to OnlyFans, because that's what people want to see, right? I also decided that, hey, since everyone is shilling a Bybit link, you know what? I created one here. So if you guys want to join Bybit, utilize this Bybit link, because you know what? We could all get wrecked together with leverage trading. On a real note, though, if you guys do want a VPN service, you could get 2 years plus 4 months free. Big discount. So if you guys want a VPN service, check out NordVPN. And I want to start out the stream. With this. Thanks to Max Kaiser, who posted this. Woman 25 forces Dogecoin millionaire to sleep with her. Ejaculate inside her at gunpoint. I guess this is one of the reasons why you don't want to let people know about your crypto holdings. This has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but I just think it's hilarious to show. All right. Let's move on. Let's get to something more serious. All right, Jim Cramer, host of Mad Money. He's been saying a lot, causing a lot of FUD recently, right? Going on air, CNBC, talking nonstop about bad news for Bitcoin. It seems like everything that Anthony Papagliano said that I thought he listened to and understood, but I guess that's all false. Going on air nonstop talking about China crackdown and how the CCP will do what they want with China, and with Bitcoin, and drive all the miners and this and that. I have something to show you guys about the miners, right? And just nonstop BS and FUD. Doesn't really understand what he's talking about. The day before yesterday, he said I have 5% holdings. Yesterday, he's like, I sold all my Bitcoin. Today, he reveals, oh, you know what? This is where I'm going to buy back in, right? They're just someone that just really does not understand Bitcoin and causing a whole lot of FUD about basically nothing. I think someone even said he had the audacity to say if the miner's hash rate goes down, that the quality of Bitcoin is not the same, as if we were like mining gold, like there's a quality to it. No, like it's just statements like that. It's just so freaking ridiculous. So freaking ridiculous, right? And I've showed you guys the headlines for Bitcoin. It's just brutal out there. Everyone is trying to push this narrative that Bitcoin is dead. You know, it's going down. I've received emails yesterday, people saying, my friend says we'll never see 50,000 again. It's going to go down to 15,000 and this and that. You don't think I heard this before? You don't think over the last 4 years I've been hearing nonstop from naysayers saying, George, it'll never go above 20,000. It'll never happen. You know, Bitcoin is dead. Don't expect it to ever go higher, right? I've heard it. I've heard it all. Trust me. I've been in here long enough, and I've seen a lot of people, you know, come in and exit, and new people come in and exit, and it's always the same story. But what doesn't change is Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to do what it wants, and it continues to go higher, right? So that's why you want to stay in the game. All this talk about China and Bitcoin, right? Well, look at this. Look at this. All these headlines. China has shut down 90% of its Bitcoin mining capacity after local bans, right? China's Bitcoin crackdown, mining equipment, and carbon emissions moving from the mainland to the U.S. This actually looks bad, but it's not. How is this bad? How is China cracking down on Bitcoin mining bad? Isn't this what we want? This is exactly what we want. We don't want China to be you know, controlling all the miners. The more miners they kick out, the better. Why is this spun into a negative thing? It's not like China is saying, okay, we're going to not only kick out the miners, we're going to arrest all of them, we're going to confiscate all their Bitcoin, right? And then we're going to, you know, try to dominate Bitcoin. That's not what the narrative is. They're simply pushing out the miners, and the miners are coming to the U.S. Why is that bad news? This boggles my mind how this could be spun as bad news. If China wants to distance themselves away from Bitcoin mining, that's great for the rest of us. That's great for the world. So I don't know why this is being spun as such a bad news. It doesn't make sense. I found this. University of Cambridge, they actually have Bitcoin electricity consumption index. I don't know how accurate this is, but take a look. You know, the reddest country in the world is China. Right now, according to this, I don't know how accurate, but they say it's 65%. 65% of the total hash rate is from China. And then from Russia, about 7%. US is about 7%, and all the other regions is smaller than that, right? So, hey, if 65% is all going to be leaving, which I don't think it's all. I think China still wants a lot of it. And this is still like, you know, not totally official how they want to kick out everyone. I think that's a little bit over exaggerated. But here's the thing. If China wants to push out their 65% and then goes to the US and everywhere in the world, that is a fantastic thing. This is something that we couldn't even ask for. It's like, this is just a gift being given to us, right? Again, why is this seen as a bad thing? This is actually... Maybe F2 Pool or China is trying to disconnect me here because my connection just dropped out of the blue. So I better get done what I need to say real quick. But this is a fantastic thing. So now we get miners to get away and start utilizing green energy from around the world. That is what we want. That's what we want. This is not a bad thing. I don't know how many times I had to say this. Doesn't matter how much the news tries to spin this as a bad thing. This is a good thing. This is an absolutely good thing. So again, you don't want to sell out. You don't want to listen to the FUD, especially when this actually makes absolutely no sense at all, because this is actually a really positive thing for Bitcoin. Now, to show you, I found this out. I saw this before, and then I just didn't have time to show you guys. But recently, these these massive dips that seems to come out of nowhere, like this one from this morning that brought us down to 28,000 to 28,000 and it jumped right back up. There are definitely whales that's driving this. It's not by accident. So I was paying attention to this because I have a alert set up in CryptoQuant studying Bitfinex. And look at Bitfinex. Look at this. Do you see? Do you see this? Do you see how much ETH was transferred into Bitfinex recently? And that is why we saw that 28,000 dip. This was not accident. I mean, look at it. Going back from the 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, hardly anything. And then the 22nd, boom, you have all this coming in. This is not by accident, guys. This is the whales that are trying to scare you out. The same thing with Binance. Look at this. Binance, huge inflow. Huge inflow. This is a massive 100,000 ETH. So right now, it seems like the whales are actually using ETH to control the spot market. So you could see that this is obviously done right now because there's a lot of fear and they could push things lower. But again, this is another reason why you don't want to leverage. If you leverage, you're going to get wrecked, right? Like Mr. Wrecked here, right? So you don't want to do that. But this is part of the game. This is what the whales do. It's data right in front of you. There is no way you could tell me, oh, this is an accident or by coincidence that you have this such massive inflow of ETH into Bitfinex right when things dip down. This is not by accident, okay? So don't fall for this. Don't fall for this. I'm telling you guys, don't fall for the FUD. Ignore it. And the one true thing that has worked time and time again is holding and dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging, right? I showed you guys a spreadsheet that someone sent me yesterday, and it's a fantastic spreadsheet. People kept telling me, share it, George, share it, but I can't because I didn't get permissions from the guy. It's a Google Docs. If I share it and then all of a sudden, you know, he gets mad, he'll shut it down. But I did find this website that is just as good, if not better. And it's called costavg.com. This is a really good site. Really good site. Basically gives you the same information. You do US dollars, but you could also do euro for those of you guys that's not in the US. You could select BTC, ETH, Litecoin, or Monero. And you could select weekly, monthly, yearly. And what's great is you could set any date interval, and you can even set exchange fees, because yesterday someone was asking me, oh, well, where can you go to have basically free trading? There are places like Webull, which was one of my sponsors. You can dollar cost average basically for free because it's commission free, but there's limitations to it. But however, you could even choose 5% for Coinbase, 0.26 for Kraken, 0.1 for Binance, right? Let's just do Coinbase because a lot of you guys are in Coinbase. I selected the start date, December 15, 2017. That was peak Bitcoin. Last cycle, 20,000 going to now, even today, right? Had you put $100 per week, 100 per week, do you know how much you would be up by? Look at when you started, a lot of people that get into dollar cost averaging, they also don't believe it because they're like, oh guys, see reds, right? Even at the peak, right? You could see at the beginning, yeah, if you kept putting $100 in, nothing but red. Oops, okay, just refresh. Nothing but red. Oh, George, I can't take it anymore. It's all red. I'm losing so much money. Until you don't. Until it starts turning to green. And more greens, and more greens, and more greens. I don't know what happened there. All that sudden drop that we had. But still, more greens, and the greens kept increasing. Yeah, that's a lot of gains. So had you put $100 in every single week since the last top, not even the bottom, the last top in 2017, guess what? You would be up a staggering, is this right? I have to double check. Profit is this column. You would be up a staggering $53,000. You would be up 287%. That's just dollar cost averaging. That's including today's dip. This is going from peak to trough, to peak to trough, right? Up, down, doesn't matter if it's a bear market or a bull cycle, a bull run, a dead cat bounce, a head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders, all that nonsense. Dollar cost averaging, right? It works. So you would be up a staggering $53,000. This is including Coinbase fees. And this is just putting $100 per week. So you could say that, well, okay, $400 per month, that's like a car payment for some of you guys. You could afford that. You could easily afford that. I know a lot of you guys watching are already whales, even before you got into Bitcoin. You put in $1,000 a week, I mean, you just times that by 10, you would be up basically $500,000, $526,000, right? This is weekly. You don't have to do it weekly. You could do a monthly. You could do a yearly, but that's probably that's too long for dollar cost averaging. You could do monthly, right? Even if you, let's just say, this is going back to 2017, right? Let's just say we just do it at the beginning. Let's just do 01/01/2021. Let's just say you started at the beginning of this year. Just the beginning of this year. Let's just go back to $100. I'm just curious for Bitcoin. Would you be up or down? Well, it started in red and then went green. Yeah, well, no, this didn't update. Wait, no, here we go. It finally updated. You would be down $650. So short term, you might be in red. But you know what? Long term, the longer you do it, the more advantageous it is for you, because we know Bitcoin is not going to stop. It will continue because adoption keeps continuing. Countries keep, well, now is starting. Countries is getting into it. You have public trade companies that's still into it, right? And institutions start getting into it. So maybe short term, you are in the red, right? But do it long term. Plan out 3-5 years. Then you will be up and you will be making that life-changing wealth. That is the power of dollar cost averaging, right? Dollar cost averaging works. It works, especially if you stay with it, right? If you just choose to dollar cost average, sometimes a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do dollar cost averaging on a schedule. I could just buy it periodically, right? That also works. I think the biggest problem is when people buy into the dips, they be too aggressive. Like if something goes down 5%, they're like, I'm buying more, 5% buying more, 5% buying more, right? So then you're too aggressive. So I think the only thing is if you're doing dollar cost averaging over, like periodically, if you want to set that yourself, you have to just spread out your buys a little bit more, right? So this is the one strategy. This is one strategy that has always worked, and just stick with it. If you're really questioning yourself, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I thought I bought in the right coins and they're all down, right? Well, just remember, short term, Bitcoin could be very volatile. It could go up and down. And no one could really tell you what the next phase is. They could guess. There's educated guesses, and sometimes they're completely right, and sometimes they're completely wrong, right? So stick with it, stay in the game, right? And realize that all this FUD, all this media FUD, which is FUD, but it shouldn't be. This should be positive news. Like right now, there's so much focus on China. Even Jim Cramer's talking about China. This is all positive news. Going forward, as we continue on, as more and more miners move out of China into the US or El Salvador or anywhere else that has green energy, this gives one less excuse for the naysayers to say, well, look at this bad thing about Bitcoin. Even Brad Garlinghouse mentioned it during his SEC lawsuit. He's like, look at China controls all of Bitcoin mining, right? Like even he's trying to use that. But pretty soon that's going to be taken away. So why is that a bad thing? That's not a bad thing. This is a temporary setback. Maybe some of these miners are selling off because they need to pay for operations overseas. They need to buy new facilities. They need to transport the ASICs. There's a lot of reasons why they may be doing so, right? But the main thing is they're moving out and they're moving to friendlier places. like the US and El Salvador and other places. So this is actually fantastic news. Fantastic news. What else is there? I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. I mean, the crypto fear and greed index is at an extreme low of 10, which can be seen as a bad thing, right? Retail investors is panicking. Of course they are. Of course they are. With all this endless bad news that's being spread everywhere. But you know what? I was looking at this and I showed you guys this before. If you spread it out and you look at all the consolidated periods where, like over here back in 2018, right? And over here back in 2020, you could see when there's like a clump of fear, guess what happens next, right? That happens to signal capitulation, and then the market rise again. And right now we're kind of seeing that. We have a big clump of fear right now, right? And guess what happens after clump of fear? Just like the previous times, we'll probably go see upwards movement. So right now we're still in that phase, I believe, getting close to capitulation, or basically where the whales and the market makers, they're going to try to drive as much people out as possible, the retail investors. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard to ignore. I know it's hard to question whether or not you're on the right path. But just take it for someone that's been in it for years, right? And take it from other people that's been in it for years, not just me. There's people that's been in it much longer than me. People from 2013, people from 2010, like Max Kaisers of the world, right? They have seen through this. They continue to dollar cost average and HODL, and now they're among the richest people on earth, right? So stay strong, my friends. Don't turn bearish. Don't turn bearish just because the price movement is not favorable right now, but don't turn bearish on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is here to stay. It's definitely here to stay. And like I said at the beginning, you should, what did I say at the beginning? I forgot what I said at the beginning. Oh, I know what I said. and the best time to buy is when things are low, right? That's the best way to do it. Buy low, sell high, dollar cost average, and HODL. That's all you need to know. All you need to know. All right. Okay, I guess it's a really good time. For those of you guys that are curious, so where not go to dollar cost average, right? Because there's so many places and places you could go. Of course, you could do it a number of places. I trust capital. This is especially important for those of you guys that want to avoid capital gains tax right now, and for those of you guys that are truly going to do this for long term. If you plan on basically trading or dollar cost averaging or buying, and you're doing it for long haul, 3, 5, 10, 20, 30 years until retirement, right? I Trust Capital is a great platform because you can do it without worry about capital gains until you actually retire. You can do so with your IRA and 401k too. And it's trading, the cost of trading is very, very low, just 1%. So I Trust Capital, right? Of course, you could do it on regular exchanges like Gemini. They actually have a feature where you could program it, schedule, right? Like if you want to do it every week or every month, you could schedule it. And I think Coinbase also has that, but I recommend Gemini over Coinbase. Of course, you can do it with someone like BlockFi, right? BlockFi is known for their depositing and earning interest, right? But you can trade on BlockFi as well. And of course, you can trade on like a more advanced exchange, or buy and trade on more advanced exchange like KuCoin. This is where you can get into a lot of the altcoins that you can't find on, say, Gemini or Coinbase, right? A lot of stuff that you would find on Binance, and if you can't get access to it, you can get it on Coinbase. And of course, if you're really newbie and you're already trading stocks and you want to buy crypto commission free, no fees at all, you could try Webull. Webull also allows it. And there's several crypto you could choose from. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Exodus wallet is also good, but I believe their fees traditionally before has been very high because they utilize Shapeshift. And Shapeshift's liquidity isn't the greatest. So I haven't used them for years, but it was always like that where their trading fees were a little bit high because of it. So we'll see. I mean, I'll have to see. I haven't tested them recently, so. Kevin says, both times market fell below 30,000, May 19 happened today exactly at 6 a.m. What is the cause of that? You know what the cause of that is? The whales timed it. That's the cause of it. You know, it's not a coincidence that all this ETH went into Bitfinex, a leverage exchange, right at the same time. They timed it. For whatever reason, they did it at that time. Who knows? Do you think the miners are selling to cover expenses from China? Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. You know, it takes a lot of money to transfer out all those miners. Like, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of miners, right, overseas. And plus, they have to get a new facility and set things up, buy new equipment, new AC, and all this shelves and stuff like that, right? They have to pay for people to relocate to other countries. So it could be that they're selling some off because of that. But they're definitely not selling off everything. Could you pull up the Wyckoff accumulate chart, the spring bottom? A lot of people look at that, but you know, the problem with it is people are looking at it on different time frames. Some people are looking at a 4 hour to make it fit. Some people try to, you know, make it fit on the 1 hour. There's too many, you know, there's too many up and downs, and people, whenever one gets invalidated, they like try to use another time frame to justify it. So I don't know. There could be something to it, but I think too many people are trying to put too much emphasis into it. Super Google, do you think China is really so stupid to ban everything? Right? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's being overblown. This whole narrative that they're trying to drive out like 80 or 90% of their miners. I don't think that's the case. I really don't think so. I think there's certain regions they want to push them out for whatever reason, economic reasons or carbon reasons or whatever, right? But for them to completely, you know, diss Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, I do not think that's the case. I do not think that's the case. They're not stupid. China's not stupid. Everything they do has like long-term implications. They're in it for the long game, you know. So yeah. Best place to stake my Matic through an entire bear market. Ooh, to stake Polygon, huh? I don't know where the best place is. I actually don't. Probably just want to stake with their own network, right? I don't know the interest that they pay out, but like BlockFi doesn't allow Polygon, I don't believe. iTrust, I don't believe does it. So I don't know. You probably want to look at, you know, like you can look at Aave and Compound, but I believe they're pretty low. Only their stable coins are high. So it's probably you just want to stake within their network. Tim asks, with the China crackdown, do you think Crypto.com is safe to store some of my VET? I don't think they're headquartered in China. They're probably headquartered in Singapore, which is out of it. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know about Crypto.com. I think they're going to be safe. All these crypto companies that's working with China, they have been in there for a long time. And China has not indicated to go try to crack down on any of them. In fact, they probably will get boosted once digital digital yuan gets fully pushed. Let me scroll down. Maybe I missed something. Someone asked about Cold Stack. Really, really small. Decentralized cloud aggregator. Yeah, I saw this before, where they aggregate all the decentralized storage out there. It seems interesting. Basically, they will allow you to utilize any of the decentralized storage, whatever is cheaper. You can store your data on there, and basically you don't have to worry about the storage. So, I mean, it sounds interesting, but as you can see, not really popular. Not really popular right now. What else is there? Did I miss anything else? I'm fairly new at this. Could you recommend a platform buying, selling, and holding long term? I just kind of covered it. There's a lot of places you could do it. If you want to do it with like your 401k, you could do so with I Trust Capital. If you want to do it with a traditional exchange, something like Gemini, which allows you to fiat buy, like there's fiat exchanges and kind of crypto exchanges. Now, if you want something more, there'll be like something like KuCoin, where you can buy Bitcoin, but you could buy a whole lot more coins. You know, if you're already trading stocks, you could use Webull, you could use BlockFi. I mean, there's so many places that you can do this with. Kendrick is, yeah, I think those are for staking ADA. Claude, hey George, my portfolio at the moment is 25% BTC, 75% major alts. Should I buy more BTC to try to get close to 50%? Yeah, you know, 50% in Bitcoin I think is a good rule for most people, right? Especially right now. You can see BTC dominance. I didn't talk about it for a while. BTC dominance have been climbing 47%, because whenever there's market weakness, people gravitate to what they know. Now, like big caps, relatively speaking, is doing better than mid caps and small caps, right? But right now, BTC is better than even big caps. So that's why I always say 50% in Bitcoin is a good idea. DKSDF, I answered that. No, I actually think that it will probably help them. What's your favorite bourbon? I'd say Johnny Walker Blue right now. Probably. Doggy's NFT. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I trust that altcoin, Ryan. That NFT play, I don't know. A lot of people saying Celsius is good for Polygon, so thought I just mentioned that. Should I sell Neo with a China fund? No. Here's the thing. You don't want to overreact. China is not doing a full-blown ban on anything. Okay? The news that's coming out, a lot of it is just hearsay, a lot of it is misreporting, and a lot of it is just FUD. Right? China already declared Bitcoin as legal property. They declared Ethereum as legal property. They have said good things about Ethereum. And all these crypto companies have existed for 4 years. No talks about banning anything. Right now, how can they ban Bitcoin? It's already technically banned, yet the courts declared you could legally hold it. So you just can't buy it, right? So right now what they're doing to miners, again, like I said, they're not arresting the miners. They're not confiscating their Bitcoin. They're just telling them to leave, and that's a good thing. And again, I think it's over-exaggerated, the number they want to leave. There's reports I'm hearing about like 80%. They want to kick out 80% of miners. If that happens, great. That's great for the rest of us. But will it really happen? They'll go kick out 80% of the miners? I don't know. Yet to be determined, right? And even they do, guess what? They're still keeping 20% around, right? 20% of all Bitcoin mining is still a huge amount. So, you know, I think it's way too early to call any of this right now. Mike Enders, appreciate that. Bought the dip, good. What's your favorite food? I don't know. I'm so sick of takeout and stuff, so I don't even know what to eat anymore. But I did hire a family friend to start making some meals for me, and they're delicious. So it takes the decision away. Most secure hardware wallet. There's a lot out there. Recently, I've been looking at some new ones. A lot of new hardware wallets out there, but the two most trusted still is Ledger and Treasure. But there's a lot more. There's a lot more out there now. XRP thoughts. It's okay. If they win the lawsuit or settle, you know, it's probably go pump. Probably go pump. Lynn, I really do need to take care of myself better. I've been working so hard at this channel and growing the website and doing everything else, and not really had time for myself to get back into a groove, like, you know, get my regular routine of exercising and stuff like that. I really need to. I really need to drop some weight before the Vegas conference, so I'm gonna start doing that. Hey, maybe I'll put that on OnlyFans. Maybe you guys will want to watch me work out, get all sweaty, hot and bothered on my Peloton. PC. What about NFT that rewards from stake liquidity at NFT? Yeah, there's NFT. There's NFT yield pools too. I don't quite get it. I don't quite get it. But you know, it's very similar to yield farms. Very high interest. I'd be careful with them. I'd be careful with them. A lot of rug pulls, a lot of vulnerabilities, a lot of just bad things that's been happening recently. So be careful. What else? Intermittent fasting. Yeah, I used to do it with keto, and it works only with keto. If you do it regularly, it doesn't do anything. Your body just gets used to it. Alfred, I'm sorry to hear that. That's true. Keto does work. I was doing keto last year, and then I injured myself, and that just threw me off. But keto is the fastest way to lose weight. And though people argue it's not healthy, but you can make it into a healthy diet. I really need to get back in the groove, honestly. I always get injured. Whenever I get really fit, I always get injured and just throws me off. I should show you guys some of the pictures when I was really into it. It's like unrecognizable. Phil, congratulations. Have I checked out a new AMM? Osmosis for Cosmos? No, I haven't. I've checked out a few. I'm still waiting for Cosmos, the big thing. Not that, but Gravity Dex. That is the big thing that's coming out end of the month. So that could really drive them up. So I'm looking forward to that. Rocky Randy, appreciate that. I have some pictures like from like 10 years ago when I got down, I think to my lowest, like 170. If I look at that picture, I feel like I look like a skeleton. So sometimes you get so used to looking a certain way, you drop a tremendous amount of weight. It's really weird. Walking is the best exercise in the world. I don't know. I would argue biking is. I love biking. Why is it good that 1.5 billion people in China is being driven out of crypto market? They're not. They're not. And it's not good for them. It's all about control. China wants to push their digital yuan. They want to make sure that goes successful. They want to make sure everyone in China pushes that and uses that, right? But later on, like everything else, they cater to national-owned stuff, right? There's social media companies and companies, tech companies or whatever, right, that thrive in China because citizens can only invest in them, right? So that's the next phase. Like after they get digital yuan going, people are comfortable using digital currencies all the time. I think they're going to open up other blockchain companies for investments. So that's why I think VeChain and Neo and possibly others will really gain from that. So I do like that. Zach, I was pretty big. At one point in time, I was like really into like bulking and getting huge. And at one point, I would say I got pretty big. I still have pictures of that. I love watching like huge muscular freaks. Well, at least I used to. Not anymore. Now the only thing I watch is Bitcoin. All right, what else is there? I think that's it. You know, this chat is starting to deviate. Overall, guys, Bitcoin. You know what? It's doing just fine. I know it hurts. I know it hurts that we've gone down so much, right? But Bitcoin's not dead. Bitcoin's not dead at all, right? Don't fall for the FUD, right? Pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes. Pay attention to what happens with the dollar cost average, right? And realize that we will get past this. We will. There's a lot of media-driven FUD right now, and there are whales that are still manipulating the market, like with these ETH dumps on Bitfinex and Binance this morning, right? They will manipulate the market. They will test you emotionally, financially, mentally, right? They're gonna test you. This is kind of like the ticket to Bitcoin and crypto, right? It's a wild ride. It's a very enjoyable ride, but there will be times where you get tested, and that's the price of admission, right? You got to get past it. If you simply stay the course, you dollar cost average and you HODL, you're gonna win. You're gonna win and achieve that life-changing wealth. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Kasim, thank you for that. And stay tuned tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.